Hello, my awesome artists. Today we are going to learn the difference between foreground and background. And what better way to do that than to create a wonderful little scene of two houses and a tree and some clouds, even a mailbox. We're going to create this, and that's going to be our foreground. But on our background, that is what we're going to put together today. Our background is just going to be a bunch of colors. And this is going to help you to understand that the background, of course, goes in the back of your artwork. And the foreground is whatever's in the front. The foreground has what we want our viewers, the people who look at our artwork, to see first. So we're going to work backwards today. We're going to start with the background, and then we're going to keep on going until we create the foreground next rotation. Let's get started. Oh my goodness, we're going to need a lot of different colors. So get out your colored construction paper. And I want you to just have a nice stack of all the different colors you can find. It doesn't even have to be colored construction paper. Get out any paper that has different colors. If you don't have different colored construction paper, just use white paper. That's totally okay. And with each sheet that you find, I want you to fold it in half because we are going to be working smarter, not harder. Let me show you what I mean. After you've folded your paper in half, give it a nice cut so that it gives you two rectangles. And then from that big rectangle, you're going to cut several smaller rectangles. And every time you cut some rectangles, you can see that it gives you two rectangles. So again, you're going to do this with every single colored sheet of paper that you got. Fold it in half. And then from that paper that's been folded in half, cut long ways, the length, and give yourself two skinny rectangles. And then from those two skinny rectangles, you're going to cut out a bunch of small ones. And this is going to give you the opportunity to create a bunch of different colored rectangles for our background. I want you to repeat this process over and over and over again until you get this wonderful collection of all of these different colors. Now, as the video continues with me cutting out all of these different colors, I do want to say that now is an excellent time for you to use any scrap paper that you might have lying around. Even if it's magazine paper, newspaper, anything, even if it's a paper bag, anything that you have that isn't being used for something else, and as long as you have parent permission, I want you to grab it, cut it out, cut it into some rectangles, and kind of start getting together all of these different rectangles. It can have patterns on it, it can be scrapbook paper, it can be pretty much anything, wrapping paper that you might not be using. Anything that you can find would look amazing, because the more variety that you have, the better your art is going to look. Not only that, but the more variety you have and the more different kinds of papers that we use, that means that each one of our finished art projects is going to look a little different than the next person's. And that's a good thing. We want our art to kind of reflect us, reflect what's in our home, kind of show off what it is that we chose. So if you do have separate papers, I definitely encourage you to use those papers. As for me, I happen to have a lot of construction paper here in the classroom. So as you can see, I'm just cutting out the entire rainbow. I'm going from purple to blue to light blue to green to light green to yellow to orange to red and finally pink. And I've got this nice spectrum. That's what it's called when we go from one color and it looks like a rainbow to the next. It's called a spectrum. I've got a spectrum of colors and it's awesome. I'm having a great time. Okay, once you've gotten a whole bunch of different colors and cutouts, maybe you can get a sandwich bag or a plastic bag or maybe an envelope of some kind, because we don't want to create too much of a mess. We want to keep all of our art supplies nice and neat. So I'm putting mine in this nice clear plastic bag. Your next step, let's get out another sheet of just plain white paper. Let's get out a glue stick. And all we're really going to do is we are going to start gluing on these rectangular colors, and we're going to cover up our sheet of paper. This is kind of a collage of papers. A collage is when we have a whole bunch of different colors and shapes of, it could be paper, it could be glass. I mean, there's all different kinds of things that artists have been making into collages. We're going to be using different colors of paper, and little by little we're going to put some glue down and we're going to cover it up. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that no color touches itself. So when I glue down a yellow, I'm going to keep it away from any other yellow. I'm going to surround that yellow with a bunch of different colors. It's okay if you repeat colors. We just don't want two of the same color touching itself. So we want to keep these pinks separate, we want to keep our blues separate, and we're just going to keep going step by step by step until we have completely covered up this wonderful work of art with our background. So these colors are going to really help our house and our trees that we're going to work on next rotation to stand out, because we're not going to color our house and our trees. We're going to leave those black and white, and that helps our artwork to really pop out what's in our foreground to pop out from our background, which is going to be full of all of these wonderful, beautiful colors. Okay, so as you can see, I'm applying glue, and then every single time I'm going to go ahead and place a color, and I'm going to cover up the entire white paper with different squares of color, making sure that I give them 10 whole seconds. I know it doesn't seem like 10 whole seconds, but it is, because I've got this video going in fast forward, of course. Alright, so I'm on my second to last sheet. There's just a little bit of white paper, and I'm definitely going to cover that up with another color. And the last color that I choose to use for this little piece is going to be purple. And there you have it. You've got this wonderful work. You've done it. You finished your background. Great job. I think it looks awesome. Take a picture, please, and upload it to Seesaw. And then next week, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a tutorial of how to make these clouds, the trees. We're going to use basic shapes to make these houses. It's going to be awesome. So great job. Good job making your background, and I'll see you next time when we make the foreground. Bye for now.